Alright, so in today's video, I got the Platinum Trophy on Undertale. Undertale is one of the most popular indie retro-style games to ever release, loved by millions, a soundtrack that makes my blood rush towards my penis, and above all else, the Platinum. It's one of the easiest in the world. Taking less than 5 hours to complete, you can get this game's Platinum in one single playthrough if you don't miss anything. However, today, well, you'll see. Undertale has a total of 30 trophies inside, including the Platinum. The first stage is to just play the game however you please according to the trophy guide, which I'm just gonna say it right away. This trophy guide kind of sucks balls. Undertale is a very simple game to Platinum, yet the guide creator has somehow managed to fail at addressing the one thing you shouldn't do, which is to kill a boss named Papyrus about an hour into the story. It mentions you can do this and still be fine, which is BS because you won't be. Trust me, you won't be. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's begin at the beginning of the game with the lore cutscene. Essentially, there's two types of creatures on Earth in the Undertale world, monsters and humans. And there's a giant mountain that humans have been trying to climb since the beginning of time to get the riches from it, and for some reason, children get dragged into it or thrown into it like we did. So you then get to begin naming our character of the day. I chose to go with Balls with a Z because that was my limit of character amount and Ballsack wouldn't fit. You then begin the game, and after walking a bit to the right, you get introduced to the very first monster of today, a nice sunflower. But all pretty things on the outside tend to be evil on the inside, like woman. Just all of them lumped together. Sorry, ladies. And the flower explains to us what health is and our soul power and all of that generic base game function. But then they try to deceive us into taking some health from them in the form of friendship pellets, which turned out to be the opposite, and the flower was attempting to kill us. Almost succeeding in doing so, but thankfully another monster jumped in to save us, being named Toriel, who is the Undertale guide, at least for the intro of this game. And then you go on to follow them around the ruins, getting a trophy from that intro scene. And the ruins are also the first location in the story, obviously. Toriel then has us follow them, getting to learn some tips and tricks about puzzles, combat, and basically all of the basics you would need to play the game. After a little while though, Toriel has to leave to go to their house and get it set up because apparently we are gonna now live with them as one big happy family. So they just gave us a phone and left us to die essentially, or I mean roam freely. And right after being left alone, I walked up to grab some candy, which was my first real item pickup of the game, which then gave me another trophy pop. You then walk through a few more rooms having to do some combat against very basic frog enemies and a few spike puzzles, even a more advanced puzzle with leaves showing us the path once you fall down, and requiring our frontal lobe to be fully functional to remember. Oh my god! However, once making it past that, you reach the first save spot of the game, and a mouse was there which gave me a trophy. I will never berate Stuart Little ever again, even though he looks like a little bitch. Anyways, after a few more rooms, you reach the most annoying puzzle of the entire ruins section. About 4 corridors had locked gates with varying colored buttons scattered around, one of which can be used to open the gate. The rest send you down to hell below, and you have to restart completely from the beginning. And if I just speed up the recording footage, you can probably see just how much I failed, how long it took, and how bad I was at this. You know, due to the circular motion of failure I was conjuring up before finally and reluctantly getting it to work. Not so surprisingly enough, that was also the last room before Toriel's house, and it's actually a pretty nice place. I wonder why Bro didn't just throw it down in Montana where nobody would ever bother. We got shown our room and also given a cinnamon butterscotch cake. Interesting choice of flavors. But once picking that up, another trophy popped into my rock hard lap. I then left our room and began to explore a little bit of the house, making my way to the basement. And the basement was just one long hallway, which is very weird, and Toriel also grabs us and takes us to the upstairs every time you try to go down it. Sus indeed. So I confronted them about it, and after numerous lines of questioning and being an annoying little shit, Toriel decided, fine, I will show this retarded child what's at the end. We would also find out that this is the exit of the ruins and the entrance to the rest of the mountain, where danger is allegedly around every corner. To prepare us for this, we also fought Toriel, and I'm almost positive this fight guarantees you win, so I got my ass kicked a little bit, but did win eventually. Although I don't feel proud of this, we ended up killing Toriel's soul in the effort. However, it did lead us to the ruins exit, and once walking out, the game's intro is officially over, and yes, we are playing Undertale by Toby Fox. What a dope ass name. So this new area we were in was then just a forest. It's kind of cool how they have those underground, I'm not gonna lie. And after walking for quite some time, you get jumped by a dark figure and not an African American. Instead, it's just Sans, the absolute classic character from Undertale and the man on today's thumbnail. He's super nice, but also supposed to be hunting humans. However, thankfully, he's too lazy to do that, so he just becomes our friend of sorts. His brother, by the way, is this red dude who looks much scarier, and that's also Papyrus, the boss we were supposed to allegedly maybe not kill. While they talked, we were also hiding inside of a lamp, which fit our body shape perfectly. And then once not being spotted, I got another trophy pop. A few steps away, there was also a box with some items in it, so I took them and got yet again another trophy for items. Very odd choice, Toby Fox. Oh yeah, we then ran into Sans and Papyrus like immediately after that, which kind of makes no sense why we hit earlier, but whatever, it's fine, it's fine. Papyrus also had an orgasm, which was dope. And he didn't just capture us right away because that would be boring, and no game would be here for us to play. Instead, we got numerous puzzles driven by him as we made our way through the forest. On the way to one of them, I also did this little ice nice puzzle if you want to call it that, and I got another item from a snowman, which was again another item trophy. Toby, Mr. Fox, Bluey has more advanced trophies than this, my brother. But anyways, I then made it to the first papyrus puzzle of the game, which was an invisible electric field. However, he was still holding the orb that you need to hold for it to shock you. So he walked over in the safe path and gave me the orb, which funnily enough exposed the path you need to go. And I still somehow got shocked. I might be regarded. But once I did make it through, he was in utter shock and awe and ran away to set up the next puzzle, which was actually right next door, and it just had a crossword word search on a table. But you can just walk by it, so there really isn't a puzzle or threat. I then went to the next room after that, and I found another safe spot once more, which gave me yet again another trophy. And I honestly don't know why this one did, but I won't complain. I then made it to 2 more puzzles with papyrus, and these actually were puzzles. Having you turn the icons on the ground all to red before hitting the switch to make them green at once, and turn off these spikes covering the path's forward direction. The first one was easy, obviously, but the second one took me a few minutes to get because I had been out of school for far too long and my brain is ran on digital trophy hunting, so there's not much left up there. Once making it past that, however, I did feel pretty smart. And the puzzle after that was supposed to be a super hard one, having a ton of variabilities with different colors on the ground, doing different things like killing you, electrocution, or just nothing. And the nothing colors are pink and red, by the way, which once randomizing it, that's all we got. And I'm not gonna lie, I did laugh at that when playing this game. It has a great sense of humor. There was then one more of those color puzzles on the ground, but it was with ice this time, and it would have been super hard had I not done it second try, kind of on accident. After that, we then got to battle an evil puppy dog man who looked super cute at first, but then Mr. Fistered me sadly. You also get to see the last bit of Papyrus trying to kill us, and I'm not gonna lie, we would have been completely screwed. So it was super nice of him to realize that and just turn off his death machine, letting us cross the rope bridge into the village of Snowden, which is also the place where the dog shrine is and where we will get the platinum later on. Before that though, we did finally run into the boss fight against Papyrus, and it was definitely the hardest one so far in the game. But it ends up with him actually sparing us even though we are both on a 1 HP essentially. And you're supposed to spare him here as well, but I read in the guide that you didn't actually have to do that and could access the dog shrine later with him dead. So I thought it would be kind of funny to kill him, and yeah, you get a trophy after walking away called Midpoint. But with that action being done, I was now just playing until the final story trophy, which isn't even from finishing the game, just progressing a little bit more in the Undertale story in general. Also trying to get to the garbage dump to find the donation box, which is allegedly where you can donate to the dog shrine and get all those trophies with killing Papyrus. So I just kept on playing, kind of cruising through the game, got a trophy or two here and there until I reached the chase scene against the giant knight that wanted to kill us. And at the end of it, you fall off into the dark void that is my soul into the garbage dump we were after. I explored it thoroughly and I could not find that elusive donation box I was betting the last 2 hours of my playthrough on finding this for the platinum to be done in one playthrough. And I ultimately had to look up where it was supposed to be, and I still could not find it in my game. Because apparently this only appears if you do a genocide run, which means you kill every single monster in the game. And I had no idea what that meant, nor did the guide creator care to explain what that even meant when referencing it, so yeah, that's why it's not a 5-star rated guide, I guess. But this does now mean that I missed about half of the game's trophies and will have to redo the entire game to get those. A sad day indeed. I don't usually miss trophies either, so this kind of broke my streak and I'm a bit upset, I'm not gonna lie. But I did still play through the story, and I honestly couldn't tell you what happened since my interest and love for this game was kind of lost due to me patronizing myself the entire time about missing all those trophies. But like I said, you don't have to play through much of the game story to reach the final place of trophies, so I'm just gonna show all those pop in when you get them because the story itself is pretty meh at this point, and I found it more annoying than anything due to all the various factors and implications in my mind. But then once receiving the final story trophy, I did begin going back and getting to the point of Papyrus's boss fight and not killing him this time, which in turn unlocked the dog shrine for us, and I began to donate my little heart away. And the guide does mention this thankfully, but you can only donate enough to fill up the current goal, then you have to leave and restart donating. You can also only donate one gold at a time and to do a total of 350. So this took a while to just simply and plainly donate in layman terms. And I did run out before reaching 350 gold, by the way, but if you just run back and forth on the rope bridge, you will constantly run into more and more enemies who drop more than enough gold to reach that 350 marker, so that's a very nice saving grace. Shout out Toby Fox again, I just like saying that name. But that's basically all there is to the Undertale Platinum, and once I did end up donating all 350 gold required, I got all the trophies relating to the dog shrine and the platinum trophy popped called Don't You Have Anything Better to Do? And to that, I say yes, Mr. Fox, yes I do. But anyways, thanks for watching, ladies and gentlemen. 10,000 likes on this video and I'll make a full hour-long video on this game, getting everything complete and all the endings on all that. Okay, bye.